Ladies and gentlemen, the maestro, Salvatore. Pleasure to be here with you.
It's my pleasure.
Salvatore, I heard fantastic news. People told me in London there is a new star rising, which is called the Salvatore bar from, how do you call it, Playboy?
Salvatore at Playboy. You know.
I mean,
it took me a little longer to become the Playboy guys again.
But now you are.
And now I am.
Everybody knew before.
Yeah. My bar is a quite unique bar. I mean, I'm very, very pleased. I mean, obviously after when I closed 50, it was a big blow for me. Because the bar was successful and profitable till the end, and it was one of the bars of the world.
And I can agree on this. I've been there. It was amazing.
Thank you very much. So I obviously will go back behind the bar. I want to open up my new place, and I was thinking to actually go in the smaller side.
Yeah.
Come back almost to the roots when I start at the Duke's Hotel.
Duke's, yeah.
But then I thought, no, I need to do something bigger and better, hopefully, than 50. Then maybe I'll do my own little bar with me behind the bar.
You can do that when you're old, so 30 years,
I know,
maybe,
of
40.
course, of course. And so I had this opportunity from Playboys, and my old partner, LCI, who they came after me and asked me if I was interested to take residence at the new Playboy Club. Now you've got to understand one thing. Playboy Club in London is very chic, elegant, and sophisticated. There is nothing cheap about that club.
I would never expect, because you
No,
would never
not
do.
cheap,
You would never do a cooperation with
No,
cheap
I
people.
would not.
I know.
And basically what it was, what really interested me, first of all, the name Playboy, Salvatore Playboy, taking a residence to an iconic, let's say, symbol.
Absolutely.
And the second thing that I really liked mostly was the fact that the way that we were to do it. Basically, if you imagine Playboy Club when you open up in London in the 60s, the 70s, and the 80s, the Playboy Club in London was by far one of the most sophisticated club in the world. It was the place where Frank Sinatra used to go, Muhammad Ali, Sean Connery. Everyone who was anyone in the film and sports and royalty used to go there.
Yeah.
And so what we did is brought back the 1970s back to 2011. So if you imagine Sean Connery to Daniel Craig than it is today. And so I liked the idea behind. So then I started to dream. And you know what I'm like, when I start to dream a bit maybe eccentric or a bit unique. And I started to think about the space, what I want to do with the space, and how it should be different. And when I sit down with the designer, the bar I knew I want a long bar again. So my bar is almost 9 meters, and so the back of the bar, the ceiling is not so high as I used to have at 50. So the back of the bar, I still believe it has to be quite unique look. And the designer came with the usual shelves behind the bar, and I really didn't like that, because shelves behind the bar is like you stack the bottle one on top of the other, and there is no really exposure apart from it. So I thought I had 50p. You know the 50p is in its own shape.
50p?
50p.
Yes, I understand. Yes.
Coin.
Yeah,
in my
coin.
pocket,
Yeah.
and I put my hand in my pocket and I was playing with 50p. And that's when I started to have this idea of the honeycomb. And I want the honeycomb behind my bar. So if you see the bar is full of, the back of the bar is full of this beautiful honeycomb, and inside there is the bottle. So each bottle has its own space, well reserved. But also another thing I've done, I have is incredible walk of history. I have about 7-meter cabinet, and in there cognac goes as far back as 1788. The liqueur goes as far back as 1800. Some Geneva gin, which you tasted, from 1800.
I did and I enjoyed it.
Some rye whiskey goes as far back as 1890. And gin from 1920, 1930. Vodka from the 1930. And so on. And it's really a museum for bartender to look at. It's really, I put some of my collection of shakers, which are very beautiful. So it's a little bit of everything.
I saw you gave me the menu. You have a very interesting category of drinks where you mix the rare spirits.
We've gone through phase from the last 30 years. The bar has really changed. Right? I start learning from the classic at the early age, and the classic were always my roots before I become to be a mixologist. You learn from the classic. Then, when I started the Dukes in the 80s, the only way to have a good drink in London or in the UK, it was to go to a hotel bar. In the 90s, you had this new style bar, the new trendy bar started.
The lab,
from the Atlantic bar. Yeah. And the bartender didn't do no more than actually pick up the classic and distort the classic. That means totally crucify what it was a classic. For example, the Bloody Mary, there would be an increment of red wine in there, or Grand Marnier, things that had nothing to do with Bloody Mary. The same again with Manhattan. Anything that was a twist, but in a big way.
In the wrong, maybe.
In the wrong way, in a big wrong way, basically. Then we had maybe one thing good happened in the 90s, that we picked up the king of the cocktail, the martini, and changed the face of the martini. We had a new style of martini, which now we use in the bar, which are popular. So basically we changed everything about the classic. Then in the late 90s, we have this introduction of the spice into our cocktail. Once before it was the use of spice was very limited, or herbs. That means we might use just mint, but we never thought about using coriander or basil or all these increments that basically the kitchens go back behind the bar.
Yeah.
So we had that phase. Then the bartender, and thanks to people like you.
Come over, because I hope it's not getting too loud over there. It's okay, let's do it like this.
And thanks to people like you, who start to create the blog or the introduction of the website, the world has become to be much smaller. That's true. So bartenders start to talk with each other. And also the intrigue and interest about the classic start to become very vivid.
Yeah.
So much so that a lot of companies start to reintroduce the classic spirits, like Old Tom Gin, Slow Gin, Geneva Gin, rye whiskey.
So a few releases of Pink Gin.
Or Pink Gin, that's it. So all these spirits start to come back into the market, and so therefore also the classic. And with that, the bartender now, like we become to be obsessed with the classic. So what I have done in my bar, but to do the classic, you can only do it with the reproduction of the spirits. Right? So what I have done, I wanted to be different, and I can do that. So I done a cocktail list, which I truly believe is a complete cocktail list, which gives you the introduction of the classic, which gives you the choice of great champagne cocktail, which gives you the opportunity of the aperitivo, which we seem to have forgotten. Also, there is a section about short and sublime, which you can choose, long and refreshing. Non-alcoholic, because we should have a non-alcoholic cocktail.
I think today that's a challenge.
Because we seem to don't understand that we should encourage people, if they do not want to drink, we should give them something that even as non-alcoholic can taste good. Okay? We have ginger. You know, if you use a ginger beer, you almost finish off the taste like something with whiskey. You know what I mean? If you use your imagination.
The whiskey Max calling.
Yeah. Then you know, obviously the after dinner, because after dinner has been a big part of my passion and love. But with that, I wanted to do something completely different. So I designed and created a cocktail list which has a section which I call the vintage cocktail. And I have gin cocktail which first appeared in 1824, and by 1862 was written Jerry Thomas' book, which was done with Geneva gin, Curacao, and bitter, orange bitter. So what I did, I got Geneva gin from the 1800, I have Curacao from 1860, and I have orange bitter from 1800, late 1800. So therefore, for a little price, you can have the original gin cocktail in my bar. But also the white lady. White ladies become to be very popular. But I do it with Goldens from the 1920s.
Which is amazing. I tried from 30s a Gordon. That was one of the best gins I ever tried. Yeah. It's so fresh and so nice juniper. I look for this in modern gins. It's tricky to find.
I have a Contro from the 1920s. And Sanka, I have a whiskey, cognac from 1914. You know, the Contro again from the 1920s. So what I do, old-fashioned, I'm using McBride rye whiskey from 1913, pre-prohibition. And I'm using an extraordinary rare Angostura bitter from 1950, right, which is a bigger bottle. Very unique, and I'm crazy to do that. I do Bacardi cocktail, which we know it was created before prohibition, and it became to be very popular, so popular that by 1936, Bacardi themselves immortalized, patented the name of Bacardi.
Yeah.
And
may I ask you a question? Because I do a blog for Bacardi, it's called the Club de Cantineros. And what's your opinion? Because when you look in old Cuban books, you find the Bacardi cocktail with grenadine and you find it without. What's your opinion on maybe, or how do you do it?
I had Bacardi from the 1930s, from Cuba, and I have a grenadine from the 1930s. So I can truly do...
What brand is it?
Well, the grenadine.
The brand, do you know?
I can't remember.
Okay.
But you must forgive me, sorry.
No problem.
But you have to see the picture.
Yeah.
It is, and I'm using also the original glass of the time.
Okay.
Alright. I'm doing Sazerac. You know Sazerac, today we all do with rye whiskey. But the original Sazerac was created with Sazerac the Forge, because New Orleans, after all, it was a French colony.
Yeah.
And cognac was the most popular spirit. And obviously with the phylloxera, cognac became very scarce and the whiskey was introduced. But not only the whiskey, was also another ingredient that we found, absinthe. If you imagine an absinthe, you know, it was very, very popular by the 1870s. And so the bit of a devilish aspect of the spirit of the cocktail was implemented. So I'm doing an original Sazerac by using a Sazerac the Forge 1805, which you think about, Napoleon was declaring himself King of Italy, the Battle of Trafalgar, Nelson, so a very unique cognac. And I'm using orange bitter from 1800, obviously not Pichat bitter. And you can have what I said, the original Sazerac, again with a little price.
I need to book a flight. I'm getting thirsty, Salvatore.
I'm having fun with that because, you know, I know I'm crazy because if you all know, a bottle of Bacardi is worth a lot.
But you know, there's a difference. I think there's a difference if you see people coming about, they order a Louis Trace with a Sprite, then you may think, what a show off. But when a maestro like you is creating a drink with a rare spirit, I think it's worth every sip. Also, you know what I mean? There's a difference. It's not about the money.
You know, we all have a passion in life. You know that I developed this idea, concept of selling liquid history.
Yeah.
Because if you really truly think about it, it doesn't matter how further we go into our future, the more we like to talk about the past. Now, for many of us, how can we be part of the past? It's either see it, feel it, touch it, right? But one thing for sure you can't do is taste it. And my idea was, many years ago, is to give the opportunity to few people in the world to taste and experience a little bit of liquid history. And you've got to remember that these spirits are work of art, because the creation of something that is last in time, it is an art.
It is.
So I started, again, a bit eccentric, I started to do a research.
But come on, you have a bar in London, you need to be a little bit eccentric.
Oh yes.
Yeah, in London you have to be.
Yeah, you have to be different. But, I have to be honest with you. I mean, I wish you all would see the bar, but if you Google me, and you Google my website, you will see not only the front of the bar, which is really beautiful to look at, but also the back of the bar. You will see Salvatore's bar behind the bar, and that is closer to perfections.
I mean, last time I've been to 50s, I saw perfection in the bar, in the working station.
This is much better. This is really what I would call the three-step philosophy that I create.
Yeah.
One step and reach, one step and reach, one step and reach, and in those 3 steps, the bartender is able to do every drink that there is. Literally. That's amazing. And it's beautiful. They have, I create this idea of the garnish straw,
I know, yeah, amazing.
The sink, the Calabrese sink, and I create a new sink which is very not as expensive as my original one, which anyone could afford. It's called the cocktail shaker sink, which basically is a sink, and underneath there is a drawer, which also I developed a very unique way how to wipe your hands with a paper towel, and what I'm very pleased with this thing, at 50, because of the Calabrese thing, I didn't have any fruit fly.
Yes, I know.
Okay, you go back to my bar again, right? You do not see fruit fly. Yeah. I will buy you a nice bottle of expensive bottle of champagne if you find me one fruit fly in my bar.
But be honest, don't import it from your bar.
Huh?
Don't import it from your bar. Go to, hey, this is...
Well, you're going to bring the
tricky,
fruit fly. Jesus. Yeah. I'll shoot that.
First security check. You bring fruit flies with you. Salvatore, I think we both have to run.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Hey guys, ciao.
So thanks
Bye-bye.
a lot. Go to the new Playboys. What's it? Salvatore at Playboys?
It's Salvatore at Playboy in the Playboy Club in London, and it's in 14 Old Park Lane.
Is it a members club?
It is a members club, but guys, you know what I'm like. People from the industry, they're always welcome. If I know that you're coming and you send me an email as either at Salvatore at PlayboyLondonClub.com, or if you're fortunate enough to have my mobile number, you can give me a call. Or if you do get in there and ask for me or for my bar manager Sofian or Stephen, I'm sure we can get you in.
Thanks.
At least for the experience to see it. Because it's well worth it to see it.
Thanks a lot.
It really is.
So let's get lunch.
Come on,